Welcome to the Scribido Talks podcast, where we dive into the minds of young individuals to hear their opinions and thoughts on how the education system should be and how we can make the world a better place for them. So let's hear it from Mobina today, who has been our Scribido Talks ambassador, and she had a very interesting topic for her talks. Mobina, can you introduce yourself to us and what is it that you currently do and what made you choose that topic for your talks?
Hello everyone, I am Mobina Shaikh, a student of Ideal English Medium High School, and I am currently studying in grade 10th. And what made me choose this topic was my own experience with failure. So my topic is let's change how we see failure.
Yes.
So as I mentioned in my talk that there was a time when I worked really hard for a science exam but did not get the marks I expected. The disappointment wasn't about the grades, it was about how people reacted. It made me feel like my whole worth was suddenly being measured by that one moment. I wanted to speak up about it because I realized so many of my friends had gone through the same thing. So I decided to speak up about it, not just to share my story, but to remind us all that failure is not the end. It's the part of a journey and we should learn from it.
And how old are you, Mobina?
I am 14 years old.
You're 14 years old. Do you think or do you see around you in your school and in the friend circle that you have around the same age group, are children affected tremendously by the way they are judged by adults for their academic performance?
Absolutely, they are highly affected because I have seen many of my peers struggling with mental health issues, and also they are trying to hide some things like kids fear failure, but we are the one responsible for creating an environment where failure is seen as a part of growth and not as backlogs.
So how did you tell me more about this journey of overcoming the fear of failure and its acceptance of how it will take you forward?
Okay, so basically in Scribido Talks, also I was afraid to share my story. I thought for a moment like how people are going to look at me, or after I speak this and this thing, how will their perspective affect me? I thought for seconds, for some time I remained quiet, but when I saw my colleagues and other participants speaking about their experiences honestly, that reflected on me, and I felt that I should be really honest and share the same way. So then I started talking about my failure story, and how I overcame was that I started reflecting. I looked at where I lacked. I asked for help from my mentors, and tried to talk or communicate with people. That was the journey. But I would suggest the audience that even if you have any story of failure, you should not stay there. You should always find a way to learn and seek more new things. Start taking risk and not sitting at the place.
Yeah, wonderful. What do you think needs to change in how schools and families talk about failure?
That's an important question. I think schools and families need to stop treating failure as something shameful or final. Instead of saying, why did you fail? They should say, what did you learn from this? Or how can I or we support you the next time to achieve your goals? Kids fear failure, as I mentioned earlier, that kids fear failure and they stop taking risk or trying new tasks. Imagine a world where students say that I failed this time and I am going to this and this to achieve my dreams or achieve my goals the next time, instead of saying that I failed and I am done. This world starts when we treat our children with respect, how we talk to them, how we support them, and how we made them feel around us.
In terms of support system, How would you say we fare uh, in schools and in educational spaces, whether it's an academy or it's a school or any kind of a learning space? How do we fare as adults in trying to understand young people? And do you think that we actually have an easily accessible support system? Like you said, you had a mentor. But does everybody have a mentor? Does every child have a mentor? Or who do they see in that mentor role? And how easily is a young person able to approach someone and actually say, I need help with this?
Okay, so like in my talk, I mentioned about certain examples in history about like Thomas Edison, J.K. Rowling, and I think Steve Jobs.
Yes.
So, like this, they can also have some ideal. Like it does not have to be someone in the present. You can take examples from history, big major fails, and try to like connect with them and see where you are standing. And I suggest that even if you are having no one, you have yourself, and that's
Beautiful.
your power.
Yeah.
Yes.
But where do you get this sense of self motivation and drive from?
Okay, so as I mentioned that by reflecting on ourselves, like at a time we all feel that I am failing and I am fearing at the same time.
Right.
Right, we all feel at the same time, like we all feel at a certain time. When we feel, we have to like whisper ourselves that it's gonna be okay, it's gonna be fine. If you're failing this time, it's okay, you're learning new thing, and keep this as a lesson and try to take it and move ahead.
So, looking at failure, redefining the whole concept of failure, I think is what we need.
Yes.
Because I remember very specifically when I was in school, I got zero in algebra and geometry a couple of times, or maybe more than a couple of times. And I tell everybody that it took me 6 years to finish my graduation. All the parents out there, I really do not want to encourage your children to do this, so please don't come and blame me. But because failure was, you're so shamed for it, for failing, and the idea that everybody needs to be treated absolutely in the same way without their capacity or their potential being looked at and their ability. So, do you think that when you have teachers or adults around you who oversee or overlook your potential of what you can do, which is not even known at the moment because you're just 14, right? So you have a long road to discovering the things that you can do and that you can learn or that you might like in the future. What message can you give adults to change that mindset towards failure?
Okay, so I highly encourage adults to treat everybody, like children or elders, the same way, because the way adults are going to do it, then the next generations, they are going to look at them and learn from them. Because we like when we were children, we have looked at our parents, right? But if something went wrong, we did not know that something was going wrong. Then when I came to school and like I communicated with my teachers, I went to events and programs, I did workshops, then I got to know, oh, this is the thing. You cannot treat unfairly. You have to treat fairly in the same way. And I want to say to adults that believe in your children, encourage them. Do not tell them that you cannot do this, or look at the children of our neighbors or like other people.
No comparison.
No comparison, yes.
Yes, absolutely. Beautifully said. In your talk, you had said that it's okay to fail only if you're failing forward. What does that mean?
Okay. So, to me, failing forward means not letting failure stop you. It means like getting up with it and going through it. not letting failure catch hold of you. Because according to me, failure means rebuilding, resetting, and reflecting.
With this mindset, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years?
As ma'am, you mentioned that I have a long way to
Yes.
go and see the world even more. I seriously, honestly speaking, I do not have a specific plan,
Wonderful.
but what I have in my mind is that I will look at the mentors, good mentors, and try to see what they have done in their life and follow their paths.
Lovely. You also ended your talk with ठीक है चलो फिर से शुरू करते हैं, which I know we've already kind of spoken about, that it's okay, I'll pick myself up and I'll move on again. But do you think that, I feel, this is my perspective and from my experiences, that as you grow older, every time you fall, you hit the ground harder, if that makes sense. So how would you explain this to an older person, that you're 14 years old and it is okay for you to fail and learn from those mistakes?
Okay. So, like as young adults, we have a long way, like as I mentioned already. So, there is a lot out there to learn and to have. Like, from if I see from the perspective of an older person, they may see that like it's the time to, like, them for that is the ending. But for an young person in this generation, there are a lot of opportunities, and I would like suggest the older person that they need to understand that there are many opportunities, but because of their mindset, like at certain places,
Yes.
youths are lacking to see those opportunities, and they are lacking guidance in
Can
their
you
lives.
give me an example of this?
Okay, so basically, in my household, like there are a lot of traditions and cultures, like for basically for girls, stereotypes.
Yes.
So, my sisters, like cousins, they have been married at very young age, and not like they have not even passed 12th. That is one of the example of like stereotypes or the thinking of older generations. So I encourage them that please do not like take this ahead and teach them, or like make the younger generations like catch hold of it.
Changing traditions would be one way. Yes. Why do you think that there is an age for marriage?
Okay, like I spoke about traditions and cultures.
Yes.
So after like we got independence and everything, so men were given more chances, or like they were seen as the breadwinner or this or that of the house, and women were like in the kitchens working for the whole family but not getting the credits. So one of the reasons for the marriage can be like if that happened in the household,
Yes.
that was affected to like younger generations also. So that thing needs to stop for us to learn and grow and have many more opportunities in the future.
If I had to give you, so before that, let me ask you another question. Do you enjoy going to school?
Yes, sometimes, but no sometimes.
Okay.
Because life has up and downs. So we cannot have a selective answer for everything around us, because we do not need to be perfectionists chasing marks. Instead, we have to be more confident and creative learners in our school.
Sure.
So sometimes I feel that like school teachers and they are all telling you like focus on studies. Like now like I am in 10th grade. I heard a lot of like comments, people suggesting me that you study from early or else you're not gonna score high marks and everything. At that time I feel like I shouldn't have not get into school, like there should be no schools. But again, if we see the positive side, where we have activities, extra co-curricular activities, we have events, programs, then like leadership qualities, we discover a lot of qualities and reflect ourselves. So that is the positive side, and there are also negative sides.
Okay, so what are the negative sides that you do not like about school?
Okay, so like one could be like unfair treatment, because as I grow up, I've seen a lot of unfair treatment. Like the one who scores high is the best student of the teacher. This is one of the rumors I feel, because there is unfair treatment, but not about the grades. It can be about relations.
Yes.
And not about grades, because yes, if you're scoring good, people are going to be attracted towards you. And the second I could be the negative thing is like telling us that only studying will reflect on your qualities or values or your morals, and not other activities like extra co-curricular activities will not reflect on your qualities or morals.
If you have any last message that you want to share with the audience, that would help children your age and their parents or their immediate adults around them to have a better co-living space, what would it be?
Okay, so I would say this to the students who have failed, maybe in their exams, or the individual who have failed in their life. Hey, listen, I know this hurts, but this is not the end. This is an invitation to rebuild, reset, and reflect yourself. Do not let yourself down. Take care of yourself, be strong, and be there for yourself no matter what, because the world is watching you. And you should be proud of yourself that you are staying at your position and taking care of yourself. Never let the world take you down. You should be proud of yourself, you should love yourself, and you should take care of yourself. All the best.